Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Eric Chua.
Madam Chair, my colleagues have shared how families are the bedrock of our society. In a supportive family environment, we can better navigate life's many challenges. But some families, including families with persons with disabilities, lower income families, and youth at risk, face complex stressors and unique challenges. It is our responsibility as a society to journey with these families, share their burden, and help them regain confidence to pursue their dreams and aspirations. I will share concrete steps that MSF is taking with our partners to support these families. Persons with disabilities face unique challenges. Family members who are caregivers to persons with disabilities often make silent sacrifices and experience caregiver stress. We recognize these difficulties and have provided greater support to these families over the years. Ms. Denise Phua, Mr. Gerald Giam, and Mr. Mark Che asked about the current support for persons with disabilities and the progress of the Enabling Master Plan. We have provided greater support in several ways. For example, 1,700 new job and training opportunities were created last year. This includes opportunities from the new Place and Train and Attach and Train programs, which will extend till December this year. The Jobs Growth Incentive, or JGI, has supported over 2,900 persons with disabilities between September 2020 and August 2021, which MOM will extend to September this year as well. We have also extended the School to Work Transition Program in January last year and launched the Enabling Mark in October 2020 to recognize inclusive employers, amongst others. In October 2021, we increased funding for Day Activity Centres, or DACs, by $3 million, or 20%. This will allow our DACs to hire more care staff and to increase the quality of care for clients. And we are similarly reviewing the Sheltered Workshop program. We've also kept assistive technology devices affordable for persons with disabilities and seniors through the Assistive Technology Fund, ATF, and the Seniors Mobility and Enabling Fund, which Mr. Pritam Singh raised. From April 2019 to December 2021, the ATF benefited close to 7,000 persons, with 66% of beneficiaries from households with per capita income of $800 or less. Permanent residents are also eligible for the ATF with differentiated subsidy rates in line with our position to provide more subsidies to citizens. From April 2019 to December 2021, about 1 out of 60 ATF beneficiaries were PRs who were seniors. The most common claims included mobility devices like motorized and manual wheelchairs, hearing aids, and daily living aids. We recently increased the ATF's subsidy for Singaporeans with per capita household income of between $801 and $2,000 and expanded the range of items that seniors can be subsidized for to include medical devices like oxygen concentrators and suction pumps. More can be done to support persons with disabilities. I am co-chairing a cross-sector committee with Mr. Gan Seow Kee, Vice Chairperson of the Singapore Business Federation, to develop our next edition of the Enabling Master Plan, or EMP 2030. EMP 2030 will set meaningful longer-term goals to foster a more caring and inclusive Singapore, which will continually be monitored to ensure that we are on track on our objectives. Today, there's a gap in services for adult persons with disabilities who do not attend any regular disability service after graduating from special education schools. we aim to gradually close this gap. And one of the ways is through piloting regional enabling services hubs, or ESH, and the enabling business hubs, EBH. The Enabling Services Hub, ESH, co-funded by the Tote Board, provides persons with disabilities above 18 with a greater range of options for flexible social and learning activities. Each ESH will identify and reach out to persons with disabilities and their caregivers in their region to understand their needs and link them to relevant support. Those at risk will be further supported by community befrienders. It will also provide on-site services such as continual learning programs and social inclusion activities for persons with disabilities and respite care for caregivers. While the ESH serves those with care needs, the EBHs support work-capable persons with disabilities who require customized and longer-term support to work. We will share more information on these pilots later this year. Ms. Rahayu Mazam and Ms. Yo Wan Ling raised an important point about doing more as a community to support caregivers. Last year, NCSS, SG Enable, and community partners formed the SG Together Alliance for Action, AFA, for caregivers of persons with disabilities to co-develop a self-sustaining community support model for caregivers. We started with 2 pilot sites in Boon Lay and Kampong Glam, and the AFA has begun to support the implementation of 2 projects. Project 3I is a caregiver-led initiative to provide social and emotional support for caregivers that is integrative, individualized, and intentional. It will connect caregivers to form community networks and support caregivers through peer mentorship and professional support. The second project is Community Circles, where a small group of friends, neighbors, or volunteers forms a circle of support around caregivers to provide practical and emotional support. These projects have initiated an ecosystem of community and peer support that reaches out to caregivers. We will evaluate the outcomes from the pilots and facilitate collaborations so that more networks can be established to support caregivers. Minister Masagos and Minister Desmond Lee highlighted how MSF has been working to strengthen our social safety net and the delivery of social services so that low-income households requiring assistance can get comprehensive, coordinated, and convenient help. Mr. Leon Pereira will be happy to know that we have been tackling food security and unhealthy eating as part of this broader effort. We have helped low-income households to defray the cost of purchases at supermarkets, hawker centers, and heartlands merchants. These includes groceries vouchers for eligible households in 2020 and the Community Development Council's, or CDC's, vouchers in 2021 and as part of the household support package in Budget 2022. We also provide comprehensive support to households on ComCare schemes, which can include cash assistance for basic living expenses such as food. ComCare cash assistance rates, which are regularly reviewed, take into account food-related expenditure based on the Health Promotion Board's nutritional guidelines to ensure that families can meet their nutritional needs. The community also plays a big part in tackling food insecurity. Many charities and community groups have stepped forward to offer food support, dry rations, cooked meals, grocery vouchers to families facing food needs. As Ms. Denise Phua has mentioned, the efforts of these groups have gone a long way in tackling food insecurity in Singapore, but there are some overlaps and some gaps in the demand and supply of food support. MSF has been actively engaging food support organizations and community partners to coordinate food support. We convened the Charity Food Work Group in 2019 to co-create a more responsive and coordinated food support ecosystem with different stakeholders. In February this year, we soft-launched the Food Connect directory and database. This platform allows families and social service agencies to search for food support organizations based on their location and dietary requirements so that families can receive food which meets their needs. This allows us to move towards a more data-driven and choice-led food landscape where families can choose their preferred type of food support. But we also want to go beyond addressing immediate needs and look at families' longer-term needs. And this is where Community Link, or ComLink, comes in. Dr. Shahira Abdullah asked about ComLink's objectives and our strategy to help families to attain them. In the short term, ComLink focuses on helping families with children and youth living in rental housing to achieve stability, where the basic needs such as day-to-day living expenses and whether their children are attending school regularly are addressed. In the medium term, we support families toward self-reliance, such as to obtain a stable job and to sustain that employment. And stability and self-reliance then serve as building blocks towards the longer-term goal of social mobility, where the family achieves real income growth and the children and youth are able to achieve better life outcomes. And ComLink achieves these objectives through its three key pillars. First, we proactively reach out to families upstream to understand their needs, strengths, and aspirations. We have reached out to more than 6,800 ComLink families so far. We then provide targeted and coordinated case support and then journey with each ComLink family to address their issues before they become more deep-seated. Together with the family, a customized action plan addressing the family's issues step by step is assembled. A pair of befrienders provides even closer support. Befrienders journey with families through their ups and downs and help to keep families' sights on the longer-term aspirations, dreams, and goals. Together, they work with the SSO coordinators to address issues that each of these families might face. For our support to be effective, all stakeholders must work together. And this is where ComLink's third pillar comes in, where the government brings together different community partners, corporates, volunteers to provide support for families based on collective knowledge about our community's needs and strengths. Together, we have introduced some 74 ComLink programs to date, including enrichment programs to provide children with holistic development, sports programs to engage youth, and support groups for parents. This complements the schemes and services that government agencies are providing, and through such customized support, we can then have a step at a transformative effect and set up families for success. Mr. Muhammad Fahmi bin Aliman will be glad to know that we are fully on track to scale up ComLink over the next few years. We launched ComLink for 11 towns in 2021 and will kickstart efforts for the remaining 10 ComLink towns in the coming months. We also want to give all our youth the opportunity to succeed in life. For those with difficult backgrounds and challenges, it is even more important that we support them. The family plays a central role in guiding youth down the right path, particularly during adolescence, and being an anchor through the transition into adulthood. MSF is committed to helping families to do this better. We recognize that mental well-being is an important point, not just for youth, but for everyone. As part of the Interagency Task Force on Mental Health and Well-being, MSF is working together with various ministries and agencies across multiple sectors to strengthen mental well-being in Singapore. We will increase accessibility to a continuum of services across our healthcare institutions, schools, and community agencies so that everyone can receive the appropriate level of care and support. We also want to make sure that these services are well integrated so that it is easier to navigate the mental health ecosystem. NCSS will expand the Beyond the Label campaign to involve more partners and the public in encouraging early help seeking and greater acceptance of persons with mental health conditions. As MOS Gan has previously mentioned, NCSS and MOM are studying ways to strengthen support for persons with mental health conditions before and during employment and for their colleagues so as to create a more inclusive work environment. Now, these are all complex issues, and that can only be solved through a whole of society effort. As SMS Janil has mentioned, the task force will be conducting a public consultation on these ideas, and we look forward to developing a national strategy and action plan together with all Singaporeans. Another group of youth who may need special attention are those who leave the formal education system early. Like Mr. Sean Huang and Mr. Sia Kem Peng, we believe in the tremendous value of mentoring for these youth. Co-designed with MOE and ITE and in partnership with Tribe Limited, our Career Advice and Mentoring Program, or CAMP, will expand networks of positive relationships for youth who leave ITE prematurely and empower them to achieve their aspirations. Under CAMP, mentors are matched with mentees based on the mentees' industries of interest and will guide their mentees in exploring their interests and broadening their exposures to opportunities. Since its launch in January this year, 14 mentors and 10 youth have come on board, and more are expected to join in the coming months. And over the next 2 years pilot, we aim to support 100 youth. One of the mentors who has stepped forward is Lawrence Tarek Keshwaran Supramani, an ITE alumnus with over 4.5 years of experience in the automotive industry. In his youth, Lawrence was involved in a riot. However, he turned his life around with the support of his community, notably from his pastor, who provided guidance and tutoring. Having personally experienced the transformative effect of a mentor in his life, Lawrence intends to inspire other youth as a camp mentor. MSF will monitor the outcomes of the camp youth, such as placement in education, training, or employment, and assess the suitability of scaling up camp beyond the pilot phase. As Ms. Denise Phua has mentioned, the lasting powers of Athene LPA is an important life planning tool should one lose mental capacity. As of 2021, about 130,000 Singapore citizens, or about 4% of all eligible adult citizens, have registered their LPAs. To promote greater awareness of pre-planning tools such as LPA and advanced care planning, MSF and MOH will conduct a joint awareness campaign later this year. We will also launch the new Office of the Public Guardian, OPG online system, which allows citizens to digitally make an LPA in a simple, convenient, and secured manner. The fee waiver for LPA applications will also run right through March 2023. On deputyship, there were 2,794 court orders appointing deputies in the past 5 years, with the number growing at about 25% annually. To simplify the application process, the family justice courts have enabled applicants to apply for general orders through the simplified track on the Integrated Family Application Management System since 2019. This typically covers powers to consent to medical and dental treatment, care arrangements, manage bank or CPF accounts and insurance, set up special needs trust company accounts, and employment contracts. MSF also offers the Assisted Deputyship Application Program, or ADAP, for persons with disabilities who do not have mental capacity and who are enrolled in various special education schools, day activity centers, and shelter workshops. ADAP applicants are provided with mental capacity assessment reports at no cost to the applicant and guidance for applying via the simplified track. The simplified track costs $40 in court filing fees and are usually granted within 4 to 6 weeks. The cost and duration are higher for more complex court orders, which typically involve adults and elderly who lose capacity without making an LPA. Thus, I urge all Singaporeans to have your LPAs registered to provide peace of mind to yourselves and to your loved ones. We will continue to work with community partners to facilitate access to pro bono or low-cost services. Madam, in Mandarin, please. 家庭是我们社会的基石。当我们的青年面临挑战时，家庭是最能够提供安抚的避风港。一时迷途的青年，在家人的包容及谆谆善诱之下，能够重新找回目标和力量。我深信我们的青年在家庭的爱护下，能够培养坚韧不拔的精神，发挥他们最大的潜能，进而回馈社会。青年的心理健康也是一个值得我们关注的课题。父母的辅导和支持至关重要。那政府会继续与各个伙伴团体密切合作，从旁辅助有需要的家庭。我们将把青年心理健康网络扩展开来，不再限于青年。我们会继续与社会各阶层合作，集思广益，更好地帮助国人保持身心健康。我们也需要关注提早离开正规教育的青年。那去年我们宣布了为提早离开公益教育学院的学生推出一项试点计划，让义工导师为他们提供指引。通过这个2年的计划，我们希望能够启发100名青年以正面积极的态度，朝自己的人生目标与理想迈进一大步。社会及家庭发展部将继续与社区团体合作，加强我们的家庭凝聚力。To conclude, Madam, MSF has spoken about the suite of policies and programs to support families with different needs. We will continue to work with the community to build resilient individuals, strong families, and a caring society. Families serve as a beacon of light in our lives. It is an inspiring light that pushes us to greater heights. It is a guiding light that always leads us back if we ever take the wrong path. But it is also a comforting light that provides us with refuge whenever the going gets tough and where we need to look towards to share our joys and anxieties. Our families also serve as compasses that help us navigate through life. Families shapes our values, beliefs, and a sense of purpose. And through the storms of life, we need only reach into our pockets for our compass to help us all find our true north. So in this year of celebrating SG families, let us all aim to become a bright beacon of light and a trusty compass for our families, just as they are for us. Thank you.